Android.
Now at 6, 9/11 remembrance ceremonies in the 4 states. How the PSU ROTC marked the 24th anniversary. Plus, members of Gen Z talk about the impact of 9/11, a day many of them do not remember. And
smell of the onions and the sizzle of the meat.
The Webb City Carl Junction Rotary Club comes together to make lunch for first responders.
I'm Ty Parks, and I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
24 years ago, 2,977 people were killed in the largest terrorist attack in history. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. And while those attacks took place in New York, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, their impacts were felt around the world, including right here in the 4 states. And every September 11th, people around the 4 states recognize and remember that day. The annual Patriot Day Remembrance began this morning at 8 a.m. at Carney Smith Stadium. Cadets fired the cannon at the exact times of the attacks and collapse of the Twin Towers, and then took turns reading the nearly 3,000 names of those who died. For every name, they dropped for a push-up. For one cadet, the tradition carries special meaning.
The idea of what we want today is to bring an emotional impact to help them remember why the nation came together, why it brought courage and unity that kept us strong and kept us pushing forward.
First responders in the area took a group photo while the Pittsburgh Fire Department flew the American flag from its ladder truck. The Baxter Springs Fire Auxiliary also marked the occasion with an annual event. The 343 Memorial Stair Climb took place today at the 24-hour Elite Gym next to Joplin's North Park Mall. Firefighters from 3 different states participated in this year's event, which showcases a stair climb, for some in full gear, just like the 343 New York City firefighters who died on 9/11. The Heartland Patriots Festival also marked the occasion in Joplin. The 9/11 remembrance ceremony took place at the National Guard Armory. Navy Petty Officer First Class Brian Jones spoke at the event. It also featured a reading of the timeline and bell ringing during the ceremony. Missouri Southern remembered 9/11 with a museum poster exhibit called The Day the World Changed. The exhibit featured a book display as well as a 30-minute film sharing stories from first responders and a window washer who experienced the scene firsthand. One staff member says it's important these stories stay alive and are passed down to the next generation. 24 years ago, our nation suffered an attack that rocked us to our core. But out of that tragedy blossomed a country that united in the face of terror. As time goes on, there are those who have entered adulthood who were either too young to remember those events or were not even born yet. However, Gen Z is still finding a way to remember and reflect on this day and the values it teaches.
Unfortunately, that's what happens with all the tragic incidents, is that something tragic happens and all of a sudden issues become important to people, and that's why people start to unite over certain different causes, right? I think the key is that people need to feel that these issues are important, that the country as a whole is something important. Being united is important regardless of what's going on in the world, and that's kind of what's going to forward change, is people recognizing that it's something important no matter what's going on in the world.
The president spoke at the Pentagon this morning saying, quote, "Today we renew our sacred vow that we will never forget September 11th, 2001. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a little bit of a hotter day for us today. High temps right around 90 degrees. And our overnights, they're going to warm up over the next few nights. It's going to be into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees every morning. Plus, on top of that, we're talking about 90s for the next several days. This means 90s for the weekend and really no chances for rain over the next week, which kind of stinks. So it's going to be dry across the region. Not much going on out there for us right now. Pretty much clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. Let me take you into Friday morning, starting at about 67, 68, 69 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, high temps right around 91, 92, 93 degrees. And what this means is it's going to be very warm for high school football. We're going to look at that and the weekend here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. On 9/11, hundreds of first responders risked their lives in the face of possible danger. And for a grateful nation, showing our appreciation can seem to fall short in comparison at times. But as KOAM's Ty Parks reports from the Rotary Club in Webb City, it's the coming together of communities that makes the first responders grateful.
Sizzle on the grill, buns in the rack, this is the way the club gives back. Service over self is the motto of Webb City Carl Junction Rotary Club, and today's service is extra special.
This is our service project that we look forward to every year. It's a day where we can pause and we can remember the lives lost, and then make good from it in the sense that we're able to supply a yummy lunch to our local first responders as a way to say thank you for all you do for us day in and day out.
Over 200 burgers are going out across Jasper County as a small token to the first responders. They're going to Carl Junction, Jasper County Sheriff, Webb City Police, and many more. This is the 4th year the club has done the service project.
Whether, that be a service project, an opportunity to volunteer, we do things in the community like this where we're providing lunch to those first responders. We do dictionary programs where we're putting things in front of 3rd graders that they're, really excited about. So any way that we can help share things within the community to help make it a better place.
A service project with many hands.
We also partner with our local school districts, and so we have 3rd graders that decorate the bags for us that we deliver the lunches. And so to see what the 3rd graders come up with, in their artwork that they put on the bags, it's always, of course, so meaningful for this day in particular.
It always makes us first responders feel great when the community comes together and the businesses come together in the area. Remembering 9/11 is definitely a great cause for those businesses to reach out to us and give back a little bit. We surely appreciate that.
In Webb City, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
This is the 4th year the Rotary Club of Webb City Carl Junction has done the service project. Well, Pitt State faces a big test as it goes up against the number 3 team in the nation. Sports Director Ryan Blank has the details from the gridiron coming up. But first, breaking ground.
A groundbreaking ceremony celebrates a future fine arts center here at Neosho County Community College. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, I'll have what it means.
A groundbreaking ceremony today celebrates a future fine arts center in Chanute. The Me Family Fine Arts Center is more than $5.5 million project at Neosho County Community College. KOAM's Samantha Walker learned why college staff believe it'll benefit not just students, but the entire community.
With shovels to the ground, Neosho County Community College is one step closer to getting a new fine arts center, a project decades in the making.
When I arrived on campus in 2003, I took the tour, we saw the auditorium and said 1968 was a long time ago, and it really hasn't been touched in that amount of time.
The current auditorium will be renovated and modernized with a new green room, scene shop, gallery, and courtyard.
We'll have all brand new equipment, LED lighting, state-of-the-art sound system, so we can really do theater tech training programs, which right now we can't really do because our equipment is so out of date. Enough room finally on the stage to actually have my music concerts in the new performing space without us being crammed into a corner.
A benefit to not only campus, but the community as a whole.
And now we'll have a wonderful flagship area of the college for those meetings to be a great representation of the college, but also of Neosho County as a whole.
The lead donation for the Fine Arts Center comes from the family of Miriam Mee, a former instructor and board member at the college.
They were such wonderful parents. We want to honor them and their memory and their great contribution to Chanute and the surrounding area.
Thank you for everything that you have done for this institution. Continue to do. Thank you so much.
Now they're still doing fundraising to try to cover the cost of the Me Family Fine Arts Center, like by letting community members sponsor a theater chair.
And you can see from our donor list how many people really care about this and want to make it a reality. So that has been really refreshing to us to see so many people that we see that this is something they know they've been needed for a long time and they want to be part of it.
Reporting in Chanute, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, the Me Family Fine Arts Center is expected to be completed by October of 2026. Events are scheduled to begin in the new facility as early as that December. Well, a little later, high school golf swings into southeast Kansas. Ryan has details from the Colgan Invitational. That's coming up in sports. But first, Doug returns with another look at your forecast.
Well, it turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. A little bit hotter outside. We've had such great temperatures over the past really 3 weeks. We haven't even hit 90 degrees since 3 weeks ago today. And now we're going to see the 90s over the next week. So summer is going to end on the summer side into the 90s for about the next 7 or 8 days. Also, not much in the way of rain chances. Not much going on out there for us right now. In fact, through the night into the morning hours on Friday, pretty calm. We may get a few clouds that kind of skirt through, but look at our temperatures, much warmer instead of upper 50s, lower 60s. We're talking about upper 60s to near 70 for overnight lows. Few clouds kind of streaming through. Here's the noon hour on your Friday. Let me take you into the afternoon. I think most of us 91, 92, 93, maybe a 94 across the region. So it's going to be hot on Friday. We're going to see this again on Saturday. We start upper 60s to near 70 degrees to kick off your Saturday. And then once we get into the afternoon, we're going to do it again. 92, 93, 94 degrees. Very consistent as we go through the weekend. All right, 69 to start, 88 by noon, high temp of 93 on Friday. So what this means for high school football weather, week 3 for some, week 2 for others, it's going to be warm. We're talking shorts, t-shirts, kickoff in the mid 80s, and even by the time the games end, it's still only going to be 78, 79, or 80 degrees, but at least the weather is going to be nice. So here's what's going on. Here's what's causing the warmer temperatures. So you can see this ridge of high pressure, and this is going to continue to build in and sit on us as we go through about the next week, meaning we're going to be hot and mainly dry. Look at this on Sunday. Lower 90s again. If you're heading north, Kansas City, big Chiefs game at 3:25. Prepare to be hot. Temperatures into lower 90s. Very consistent again. Let's go into Monday. Much of the same. Temperatures low to mid 90s. Even on Tuesday, temperatures low to mid 90s. And really any rain kind of rotates around the region. So we don't see much in the way of action for precipitation as we go through about the next week. I do think we're going to see a few changes late next week, and then that will drop our temperatures and also give us some better chances for rain. All right, thankfully the humidity is not going to be too high, so our heat index as we go into Friday is about 2 degrees warmer than the actual temperature. So it's going to feel like mid 90s, and it will be the same as we go into Saturday afternoon. I think heat indices into the mid 90s. So we want to get this high pressure to break down because it doesn't do so over the next week. It kind of starts to sink off toward the southern parts of the plains once we get through next Tuesday. But I think it's going to be Thursday and Friday we start to get a system in here, and what that should do is drop in a cold front, bring our temperatures back down to where they should be or maybe even below normal by the time we head into next weekend. But for the next week, we're going to have to deal with the heat. 93 on Friday, 94 Saturday, 92 on Sunday. We hold into lower 90s as we go all the way through next week.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, still ahead, the high school golf season is underway with a tournament earlier today. We'll have the highlights, and Pitt State is preparing for its home opener this Saturday against another ranked opponent. We'll hear from the team after this.
The gauntlet continues for Pitt State as they enter week 3 of the season. After battling top-ranked Ferris State and top 20 Central Oklahoma on the road, the Gorillas take on number 3 Grand Valley State in their home opener on Saturday. After facing double-digit deficits early in both games of their matchups to start the year, Pitt State is focusing on starting fast. Head coach Tom Anthony says that it comes down to the players' mindsets when they enter games and is tweaking practices to have more of a game day feel.
We started slow, both games, and like I've been stressing to our guys all week. And after the game, you play really good teams. You can't spot them extra points, right? And so as you look back over those last 2 games, we're down multiple scores by the end of the first quarter. So that part we got to fix. The best part is then you watch those guys battle back, just chip away, keep fighting, and now we're right back in the games. To me, it's more restructuring practice to make it as much of like a game day kind of environment as you can.
All week, the coaches have been getting on to us about passion, so Coach Ant changed the flow of practice and everything like that. Right out of stretch, we're doing good on good, so I think we adapted well to that. Practice have been going well, so just passion to start fast.
The The Gorillas' offense took a step forward last week, totaling over 400 yards against the Broncos. But despite their success as a unit against Central Oklahoma, Pitt State believes they need to improve at finishing drives. And as they enter Saturday's matchup against the Lakers, the Gorillas are focused on executing at a higher level in the red zone.
I think one thing we've seen through the first 2 weeks is our offense has the ability to generate a lot of yards. Right now, where do we have to get better at? We got to get better in the red zone. We got to finish drives with points, field goals, and touchdowns. Unfortunately, we had that interception there late in the game down in the low red zone. Another chance for us to put points on the board. But again, it's just we're generating yards, we're moving the football. Now we just got to finish with points, in the red zone.
The Gorillas return to the jungle against the Lakers on Saturday. Kickoff set for 4 p.m. from Carney Smith Stadium. 54 high school girls golfers from all around southeast Kansas hit the links today at Crestwood Country Club for the Colgan PHS Invitational. 8 local high school teams compete in the event, with Anderson County joining as the 9th. As some of the region's best young golfers square off, showing off their talent on the greens, fairways, and tee boxes, some golfers compete as individuals, while the 9 participating teams bring out anywhere between 4 to 6 girls to represent their team. The top 4 finishers from each school have their totals combined for that final team score. Right now, the tournament is still live, but here's a look at the leaderboard as we stand. Columbus leading the way with Caney Valley, Colgan, Coffeyville, and Chanute rounding out the top 5. That's it for sports. We're back with more after this.
Well, it looks like we'll drop back to about 68, 69 degrees later on tonight. It is going to be hot over the next few days. 93 on your Friday, 94 Saturday, 92 on Sunday. We're moving into the last week of summer. It is definitely going to feel like it. Really, I don't see any rain chances, or at least good chances, till late next week.
All right, well, Doug, thanks. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A generation born after 9/11. We'll have more on young adults here in the 4 states and how they honor a day they never experienced. Plus, Gen Z ditches dating traditions, why talking money on first dates is now considered attractive. And blood-sucking insects called kissing bugs are spreading a dangerous disease, why researchers say it's being overlooked in America. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A local Veterans Expo in Joplin is helping connect former service members with the benefits and resources they've earned. The event brings together agencies and organizations offering support with VA benefits, identification card services, and other programs veterans may not realize are available. One of the key focuses is suicide prevention, with groups on hand to provide outreach and assistance to those who may be struggling. Veterans say having all these services in one place makes it easier for them to access the help they need without traveling long distances.
A lot of veterans, when they get out of the military, don't know what benefits are due them, and this is an opportunity for them to see in person the people that represent a lot of those benefits, and one-on-one with the people that they need to see to get their benefits that are, they need.
Resources that were included at the expo include housing, employment, discounts, and more. Final look at sports.
Pitt State has another tough challenge, but they look to get in the win column. 2 really close games that they fell in, but they get to finally come home. Special uniforms, home opener. It's going to be a good atmosphere.
I know. It'll be a good crowd, too. All right. Well, thank you for watching. We will see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.